In this video, we're going to talk about Gunslinger Spawn's impossible choice. Should he kill or should he save? You'll see what I mean as we go on in this issue, but alrighty then. This is a comic book review of Gunslinger, issue number 44, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in the Gunslinger and Godsend decides to go on a suicide mission to save Godsend's daughter. But in the end of Gunslinger Spawn issue 43, as they're doing their attack, Spawn calls Gunslinger to help them out because they got a world catastrophe to deal with because all hell on earth has been loose. So Spawn's voice crackles loud through his hidden micro device, though Gunslinger willingly ignores it. Damn it, Javi, answer me, are you coming? He won't. He's decided he needs to be exactly where he is right now. Though, a part of him questions for that reason for that choice. And Spawn is just like, whatever you're doing, Javi, just drop it, and I mean now. It's a global threat off the coast of Oregon. I need all hands on deck, you hear me? Everyone, I'm not freaking around on this. Nothing needs your attention more than this, so get your ass over here. Damn that cowboy. And that is a reference to all the events that led from Spawn issue number 363 to 366. Unfortunately for Spawn, she's unaware Gunslinger has just initiated his own personal attack as he's going to work on these angels right here, striking a stronghold of an angel sect run by the mysterious General Matthias. Having left his guns behind and seeing the magnitude of their mission, Gunslinger will need to improvise as he looks to take a piece off of a leg chair to use it as his knife or something like that. So while Godsend is deadly focused on why he is here, and that is to take back his daughter Janelle, his child who was kidnapped by God's orders, and they're telling him, you shouldn't have come, traitor. So while the last of Gunslinger's trio tries to stave off his own demise, distracting most in the room except one, and this guy tells Silencer, look at this, watch this, and throws his pet out the window, and Silencer's like, oh hell no, that's my pet, I gotta go get him. Knowing what his reaction would be, the suited angel's action served its purpose. Yeah, cut me in half, but you get to leave the scene of the battle. So as the frantic Silencer lunges to save his pet, Gunslinger's trio has now been reduced to a duo, thus vastly increasing the odds for those Gunslinger attacks, or so they foolishly believe. But that's the thing about foot soldiers. They may fiercely protect those they serve, but in the end, yeah, they just gonna have to do their thing, you know? They are still mostly in the dark about the true nature of their enemies, especially those from hell. So Godsend turns off the light, and when they turn back on the light, they want to know where they are, but this guy knows. Find them, they're after the Janelle, and then bring me their heads. So Godsend and Gunslinger pursue Godsend's daughter. But Gunslinger's like, if she was in the room, then why is she running? Godsend's like, I don't know, maybe she was scared or something, but that's her. They're chasing her right now. And Gunslinger Spawn knows all this too well. Stop, it's a trap. I've seen this move before. And Godsend's, maybe it is, but I'm not leaving without her. You do what you have to, but I'm gonna do what I have to. So Godsend misses away. When he rounds the corner, he finds the halls empty. But when he sees that it's empty, it's not empty for long because Janelle's like, Dad, is that really you? Pointing her guns at her. And I know the title of this was Gunslinger Spawn's impossible choice to kill or save. This is where the title kicks in right here. And also kind of in the beginning of the issue too. But Janelle tells Godsend, they said you were dead. And Godsend's like, nah, baby, I'm right here and I'm gonna bring you home. So they share a hug and she tells him, I miss you. And he's like, yeah, I miss you too. I was afraid. But Godsend's like, wait a minute, hold up. Afraid of what? Tendrils ensnare him before he can even make a move. And the form Godsend was holding no longer resembles his daughter. Instead, it's a combination of horror, evil, and shadows have melded into something indescribable. Whatever it is keeps shifting and changing, not allowing Godsend to even know what he's fighting against. And that's exactly what the creature wants. Keep your enemy flailing off balance. As they struggle, blanket them in dozens of inky tendrils, then smother them in darkness before swallowing them whole. The entire process taking less than a minute, as a snapping sound of cartilage and tendons come from collapsing his wings. From the black beast, the pain its prey suffers matters little. Absorption is all that it cares about. That is what will inevitably destroy its enemy. But some already know its trick like Gunslinger, and Gunslinger tells him, close your mouth, hold your breath. It'll take over you if it gets inside. So it wants you to drown. So obviously the creature, does this thing with Godsend. And despite his warnings, Gunslinger knows he can't stop it. And as the last of Godsend's visage disappears, the beast turns his focus towards the Hellspawn, salivating with anticipation. But Gunslinger dies before the barbed tendrils hit the forehead. And it's time he takes the offense, so he goes in for the attack. And Gunslinger Spawn rips out a piece of wood on a stick and obviously torches it with his necro energy, and he tells the beast, not so brave are you. The torch, lit by necro energy, stops the beast's advancement, making it hiss like a vampire being seared by sunlight. Gunslinger knows it's only a temporary solution, but it's bought him a few precious moments, enough time to lay his bait. So the beast screams. Hoping to distract Gunslinger, the creature begins to shapeshift. I know this game is so predictable, says Gunslinger. Javi hesitates, deciding if he really wants to help Godsend or go with his friends the Scorch to help with the all hell on earth being released, but he's not feeling 100%. Bailing on this mission would be smart, but Godsend came to rescue his daughter, and that thought reminds him of how he tried to save his sister but failed. But that's not gonna happen tonight. Reliving the past? Hell no, I don't want that pain again. He serves himself up like a sacrificial lamb, then turns himself into a raging hurricane going to work on the beast, literally tearing the beast apart limb by limb. When the beast does what Javi needed him to do, which is to scream, he will begin to shove his torch down its throat. Swallow me, says Javi. Swallow me, you bastard. The creature does. As Gunslinger is absorbed, he inhales deeply, then holds his breath. And we see Godsend right there, holding his breath too, waiting for the right time. A clock has now begun ticking. One of them has to get out of there in the next minute, or the cells of their bodies will begin to atrophy, quickly shutting down every organ or whatever gives those things life from heaven to hell, until they cease to exist. Gunslinger motions towards Godsend's pendant, wanting him to turn it on, and that he does. With the pendant engaged, there's only two things left for Javi to do. 1. Stop holding his breath and scream, triggering the same reaction in the host that consumed him. And 2. Expel one of them before the minute is up, and he tosses Godsend out of there, tearing through the tissue and skin of the black beast. Godsend is vomited out of the Gunslinger's Herculean toss, and he lands. He quickly tries to get himself up, and sadly, it won't matter, because as another has entered the fray, and this time the Janelle is real as she impales him from the back like that. And that is the end of Gunslinger Spawn, issue number 44. Gunslinger Spawn's impossible choice, to kill or to save. What you guys think of the comic book? Comment below, let me know, and also link in the description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. Thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.